Yeah.
Good job.
Prior to this, we were recording in Spanish. So,
He realized.
yeah. Anyway, so last time we were talking about the how you got here, how we got here. So we didn't get to share my story, but we got to share yours. And it was interesting because you said that you didn't know English like me. I didn't know English either. And we learned along the way. And so I'm still learning, really. I mean, every day, it's, something new. But it's funny because you learn, or one of your tools was Shania Twain, Dixie Chicks, which is now, they're now the Chicks. Um, Country music. And for me, it was rap music. Rap music in English, like Tupac, Biggie Smalls, all the good time, the good era of rap. So for me, it was funny because I remember when my friends used to pick me up from work, the Tupac song was on the radio, and I used to jam on that song. I didn't even know what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like California knows how to party, but I didn't know that was for me it was like California. So like that's exactly how I used to sing it because I didn't know English. So it's interesting. One thing that I did mention though is the fact that I remember watching a show on TV that I remember LL Cool J, and he used to be the one of the guys there. And the other was Brandy, another R&B singer. Mm-hmm. She was Moesha, and I remember they were laughing about something. I didn't even know what they were laughing about, and to me, it was like that was like an eye-opening moment, mm-hmm. like eye-opening moment, because like I wanted to laugh. I wanted to be part of the culture. I wanted to be just, you know what I'm saying, not forgetting or where I came from or anything, but I wanted to be part of it. Like I wanted to laugh. Like I wanted to understand what they were laughing about. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I also wanted to date American women. So, yeah, I mean it's the truth. So that kind of forced me to, not take the easy route, because that's another thing that a lot of like people from other countries, what they do is they go the easy route by getting a job where there's a lot of Latinos or whatever, Italian or Russian, whatever, same culture, language. Same language. So they're not forced to learn anything or as much, you know what I'm saying, because it's easier. Also, they, a lot of people just watch like Spanish speaking channels. Mm-hmm. Univision or the Telemundo, they split these other channels. So for me, it was completely different. Like I forced myself to watch TV in English, and so by the mannerism, the hand movement, a lot of the stuff, I used to pick up, a lot of the stuff, and that helped me a lot, And then I told a story, which I don't think it got recorded, but the story about me going to the mall, and that's the funniest thing. So I go to the mall, ordered a number one, some fast food place, and the guy gave me my number one. That's all I knew how to say. Number one, please. That's all I said. The guy gave me my number one, or whatever, and next thing you know, I don't have a straw, and I need a straw to drink my thing, and I didn't know how to say straw. So I'm like, man, how can I tell this guy? So I told the guy, hey man, I need, and the guy panicked. Like I didn't even know why he panicked, and he's like, no, not me. And I said, yeah, you. He thought I was asking for weed, and he's like looking at his manager like with a crazy face, and his manager's like, and I'm like, yeah, you, and I'm like persistent, like you. And then I pointed out to the cup, and I said, hey, he said, he had a face, like he has a sense of relief, you know what I mean? Like this guy, my manager might think that I'm dealing drugs here at the mall, whatever. And yeah, he said straw, and I said straw. and I never forgot that word. And so like that, I used to like help myself watching TV and like listening to music and stuff like that. The dictionary, internet was not around at the time, so that was a challenge to, you know what I'm saying. Now it's like so easy, like different apps that you can use, but back then you really had to force yourself. But that propelled me to get better jobs than, you know, a lot of my peers, a lot of people that, you know, my circle. And so yeah, that was interesting. You know, it helps a lot.
Yeah. You know, you were talking about that, and I was gonna say things are way easier today. We were talking about, you know, the phone, the translator, chat GPT, things that just translate immediately. Google Translate. There is even a little ear thing that you put, and it translates as they like immediately as people speak, so you can hear in another language or in your language, the language you speak. And I was gonna say, well, maybe, just maybe, it was for us back then when we got here a long time ago. We were forced to just learn, and that's why we learned, and we're still learning again. But it's easier for people now, so people are not, I guess, they are not put in a space or in a zone where they really have to get out of their comfort zone. They have to be uncomfortable and they have to learn. But then at the same time, I do know a lot of people that were even that were here in the United States before I even came. And I know how they're doing still today, and they're basically in the same spot. So I think that a lot of it is not necessarily like, well, back then it was difficult, so you were just faced with just go for it and just go learn it. And still the people today, if it's easier, or there are so many resources, like why don't you learn? Like every day I would be like with ChatGPT, like teach me a song or something like that. I don't know. But I truly believe that it's a mindset type of thing. And yes, right now there are a lot of more resources than before. But when we analyze that, I always want to analyze things, but when we analyze that, you can see that, or you understand that it's not necessarily about the resources or lack thereof. It's about your mindset and about wanting to learn, about wanting to progress, about wanting to go to another level. And a lot of it, again, has to do with your identity, has to do with where you're going. And you may not even know where you want to go, but as long as you know that you want to get ahead and go out there, whatever that out there is, just keep on moving, and you just have to keep on learning whatever you need to learn. And so getting stuck is the crazy part.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, why do you think that the people get stuck in whatever they get stuck? You know, I don't want to go back to the first episode to where like we were talking about the inner circle, because we already touched on that, right? But it all revolves around that, and I believe, and I'll go to the question in a second. For me, is very important that I evolve and that I move forward. And I'm guilty of being a procrastinator a lot of times. I'm guilty of just allowing things to get in my head and get stuck. So, do you think those people, whoever it is, like they got here, you know, 30, 40, 50 years ago, and they're still in the same neighborhood, they're still saying in the same job, they still the same thing, and then they were not able to, for whatever reason, to move ahead. Or who knows, maybe they're happy where they are. Maybe that comfort zone is where they're happy. Do you think what do you think that is? Like, what do you think is based on people you know and you talk to and you ran into and conversated about these things, or you analyze because you like to analyze? Why do you think people just stay there in that space.
There is a lot of different reasons why someone may have that. One of them is fear. Another one is being comfortable. Another one is, and I hear this a lot actually, you know, that I talk to a lot of women on a daily basis, but a lot of it has to do with, I just don't know where to start. And whether it's fear and whether it's just being comfortable or the I don't know where to start, it's really a matter what I was telling you a little bit ago about mindset. And you just really have to know where you are and where you want to go. And the fact that people, you know, you can tell me, yeah, I'm happy where I am. You can be happy. You can be happy where you are. You can be happy where you were. And you can be happy just staying there. But the human experience is not about being happy. It's about evolving. It's about learning even more. And all throughout history, actually, we can see not only in humans, but really in nature, that there is nothing that is just still. There is nothing that gets to that point and it stays there. I mean, you can look at a fruit, you can leave an apple right here, and if I look at it for like 3 hours and even 7 days, I can just be staring at it for 7 days, my eyes are not going to see any change at all. I may be falling asleep here and there and still is going to look the same. But we are all, like the world and everything that it's in it, it's decaying. So if you think about it, everything that is growing, it's actually decaying. Everything that hits like certain peak and it goes down, it's decaying. And decaying doesn't necessarily, it does not mean that it's a bad thing. It's that it's a growth, it's a constant change, it's a constant something. So for us to think that, oh, I got here and I'm good and that's it. Even if you're financially, I'm good and I'm gonna stay here, let's say $50,000. I'm good, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna tell you something, in 10, 15, 20 years, that $50,000 is going to...
$50,000 is nothing now.
Exactly, really. Exactly.
This just depends how you look at it.
Exactly. And then even us, like if you hit a certain fitness level, you cannot be like, oh, I got my six pack, I got my guns, and I'm gonna stay here and I'm not gonna work out anymore. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There has to be progress every single day. There has to be something that you learn every single day. Because the moment that you stop learning, you're done. You have unlearned stuff basically, because since things are changing constantly and you got here, like a lot of people, and I'm seeing that right now with the generations that are even afraid from opening an email. There are generations, even from our parents' generation, that and older, that don't know how to open a computer. You tell them about, hey, open a window and copy and paste, and they have no clue what you're telling them. You're speaking to them in another language. They don't know how to reset the computer. I mean, ChatGPT, what is that? What is
AI? Oh now we got to get with the AI, because right now, if you don't get on board with the AI, like you said, you're going to be left behind. And a lot of it, you mentioned fear. I know many people. I can speak for the people that I know. There are foreigners, which are the majority are Hispanic or Spanish speaking, from all Latin, South, and Central America, and so a lot of them, they have the fear of not being able to communicate. And I always tell people, listen, always, don't be afraid. Beautiful thing is that the English language, with 2 or 3 words, you'll be able to communicate and express whatever you have to express, and you just have to do it. When you break that barrier, that fear, it's a breakthrough, truly. When you break through, I mean, you might not be as fluent, as other people, because that's also has, not everyone is the same, right? So, but you'll be able to break that fear, and that will help you so much. That's kind of like you were saying, that working out, when you go to the gym, which I have to get back, by the way, I have to get back to, you work out, you break that muscle, it's painful.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, like, I don't want to go to the gym. It's like, oh, just the fact when I have to do legs, I have to go and do legs. That is the most painful. But once I'm doing it, it feels so good. Mm-hmm. And when you see the results, it feels even better. Mm-hmm. So it's the same principle for whatever we want to apply in life, because that fear will stop you, will not allow you to move forward. And some people have goals. I believe everyone that's in America should have dreams. That's why I focus a lot on speaking to people about their dreams. What dreams do you have? I still have dreams. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how old you are. You can still make it happen. Mm-hmm. But it all evolves around that fear, breaking that fear. Just do it. Jump on it. We always use our friends as references. We're not going to mention any names or refer to certain things so people don't know. But if you're my friend, please do not get offended. This is. We love you. We still love you for sure.
You can still comment below.
Right. Yeah. Make a comment and subscribe, follow us, share. But we will not mention your name. But one of the things that I tell my friends, like, I have this friend that he's an amazing person. We clash in certain occasions, but he has so much talent, and he has accomplished a lot. Don't get me wrong, the guy has accomplished a lot. But we're always talking about, man, what if, and last thing I said, you know what, man, I'm just gonna start the podcast. We're still gonna do it. We're gonna do it now because you and I, we did a live on IG back in 2019. Prior to COVID, people were not going live on IG as much. It wasn't rare, but it wasn't as popular. Mm-hmm. People were just maybe like for 2-3 minutes. We actually did it was almost like a podcast, and we did it live, and it lasted like 30 minutes, something like that. And I remember people were telling me at the time, that has been the best live that I've seen. This is prior to COVID. A year later, about a year later, COVID hit. And so everyone was doing live, Zoom, and I'm like, man, imagine if we just would have just not got stuck, but like stuck to the plan. Mm-hmm. And we stick to the plan, we execute it, and who knows where we'll be right now, 6 years later. And so I said to him, it is now. I will not just leave it for later. Like, it is now, because I don't want to go another 6 years and look back and say, what if? What would it happen? Like, what if? What would have happened if we would have continued press and play, share the screen, and go live? So that's the same thing that I tell people all the time when it comes to the speaking. Learn English. Like, we enforce that a lot. We emphasize that a lot because it is important. You know what I'm saying? Not because you're gonna, now you're a gringo. Like, now you're no, that's not it, man. Like, and some jobs, like the job thing, yeah, it helps. Like, if you're bilingual, but it's more than that. I believe once you learn, and there are statistics about that. You might know more about that than me because you are the original Alexa. But I know, psychologically speaking, it opens a complete different world. You know what I mean? Like, you can, once you learn another language, trust me, you can do a lot more.
Gives you confidence.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of other things that you may want to elaborate, but I believe so.
Well, you just impact another topic that is going to be very long for me to speak, and I would like for us to leave it for another day. However, I am going to talk a little bit about it because you were talking about procrastination and fear. Believe it or not, a lot of people, hit themselves because, oh, I'm a procrastinator. First of all, stop saying that you are a procrastinator because you need to stop claiming that you are.
I am not. I am not. I am not. I am not.
Just say, I'm an active, resourceful person. I am an active
I'm an active, handsome, resourceful person.
Yeah. So I could go on and on about the way we talk to ourselves. In fact, I have a friend of mine that I'm helping her go through some things and really make a huge change in her life right now. And it is so crazy to hear her because she's so used to speaking to herself the way she does that she doesn't even realize. She's always saying, oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, it's just that I suck. And I'm like, what? You need to stop saying to yourself. And she's like, oh, I did say that, right? And so the more you tell yourself that you're dumb, the more you tell yourself you're stupid, the more you tell yourself that you procrastinate, whatever it may be, the more you speak bad to yourself, it doesn't necessarily help. Like if you and I, let's say we would get into a fight or an argument, or my child, if I would tell my child, oh, you're so dumb, what do you think, let's do the child example, what do you think is going to happen to my daughter's confidence? If I tell my kid, you're so dumb, I'm going to hit her confidence like horribly. And if she has an exam tomorrow, she may know the whole thing, but I may hurt her feeling so bad that she's going to be thinking about that instead of about the answer. And so we're always complaining to people, and we're always saying, oh, you're talking bad about me. You're calling me names. You're labeling me. You're talking like horribly, whatever. So we get mad when other people talk bad about us, or they refer to us in a with a bad adjective or whatever you may call it. But then we do it to ourselves. How horrible is that, right? So we need to start, number one, I didn't want to give tips. Number one, stop talking to yourself like that. And if for some reason you are that type of person, you may need some accountability. Find somebody that is like, okay, you help me and I help you. Whenever you hear me saying something bad, like to myself, then you tell me, and then I'll do the same thing for you. Like find an accountability partner.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was the fear and the procrastination, because those two really go two and two together. So we were created, like our human experience, naturally, our instinct, if you want to call it like that, our unconsciousness, reaction, immediate thing, we don't even think about it, is survival. Like when you see a bear coming, it's a fight or flight response. You don't think, there is a bear coming. Should I be running away? Which way should I go? How fast should I run? Or should I sit? And you don't think. You just like either freeze completely and you can't think. It's not a thinking thing. You just freeze or you just run away. You don't even think. After the fact, you're like, oh my gosh, why did I even run that way instead of this other way? Because you were not thinking, right? So as humans are creatures of survival, basically, procrastination is really a matter of survival. So procrastination, let me just let you know, don't beat yourself up because you are procrastinating. Let's just change that. Don't say I am a procrastinator. Just use it as a verb instead of an adjective. You are procrastinating, which is different. That's an action. So if you're procrastinating, you have to see why are you procrastinating. And sometimes, let me tell you, let's say you're watching TV, binging on a whatever show on a Sunday. Your unconsciousness says, I am comfortable, I am safe. Not so much the comfortable. I am safe behind a little blanket with a little pillow, just watching TV. I am like, my heartbeat is good. I am safe. So your body's actually going to try to keep you as safe as possible. But the moment you're like, oh, I have to get up and wash the dishes, everything changes in your body. because now there's something you have to do that takes you outside of your comfort zone, and that may not be safe for your body. I mean, nothing is going to happen from the couch to the kitchen. Maybe I find a bear. I don't know. I know it's not going to happen, but your body itself is going to try to keep you as safe as possible. That's why it's so hard for us to get up at 5 in the morning, go to the gym, do the thing that it's outside of the comfort zone, because the outside of the comfort zone means unsafe, or means unknown, or means pain. Like if you think about the gym, you're like, oh, I have to go to the gym. And it's not so much the laziness, it's about that your body knows that you're going to have pain. You're going to feel pain. Your muscles are going to hurt, and your hands and whatever else. And you're going to be, and screaming, all that stuff. But your body's trying to keep you safe. So that's where you have to tell your consciousness, hello, it's not going to happen, like nothing is going to happen, has to tell your unconsciousness, hey, nobody's going to kill me from the couch to the kitchen. Nobody's going to kill me from the couch to the gym. Nothing is going to happen. You have to basically tell yourself, get out of bed. It's going to be okay. It's like this battle type of like parent-child relationship, from your unconsciousness to your unconsciousness. You have to force yourself.
From your consciousness to your unconsciousness.
Correct. From your consciousness to your unconsciousness. And consciousness being the child that doesn't know and wants to keep you here. And your consciousness is your logic, like, nothing is gonna happen, dude. Yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit. You just like, no, that's it. End of story. Nothing is going to happen. You're gonna be fine. That's what you have to tell your unconsciousness all the time, so that you stop procrastinating. So when you're feeling like, oh, I really don't want to do that, I just want to watch Netflix or whatever, ask yourself, why are you responding like that right now? And you're like, because my body's trying to keep me safe. But really, nothing is going to happen, little one. Come on, let's do it. Your heart.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to happen. And just do it. And the desire to continue procrastinating is always going to be there, because it's not so much procrastination. Again, is your body telling you, let's just stay safe right here, not do anything. But success comes from going outside of that safe, comfortable comfort zone.
Right. Now, the one thing that a lot of people don't think about is the reaction part. Obviously, we react. Our body reacts, a certain way. We don't really think about, like, naturally, you don't think about certain things. Like, your body is telling you, is speaking to you. Your brain is basically taking over on your thoughts and how you react and how you move or whatever. And so you have to make an effort, like, to always, and that's repetition. I think it takes repetition to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a procrastinator. I just procrastinate.
So a round of applause. Can we have it?
So another thing that I notice in our community is sticking to your own. Kind of like self segregate. And it happens in a lot of different communities. The thing is in the United States, you see that more, because obviously you have different races and stuff like that. But in Latin America, you also have different races. The thing is historically it's a little different, and culturally, obviously, it is different. But even among our community, there is this thing about, like, I want to get there. I'm going to do, I'm going to work hard. When I come to the United States, I'm going to make, the American dream happen. But what is really the American dream? Because the American dream is not the same in 2025 that it was in the 1930s, 1940s, and 1950s. You know what I'm saying? So now you have more opportunities. But I think we like we just like to keep it like within ourselves, like just for us, you know what I'm saying, because there's that fear that I'm gonna lose it. Like it's like let me hold on to this what I've got, right? And all that to say that, or where I want to get to, is lately I've been hearing and speaking to me directly. It's like, give. The more you give of what you have, whatever talent it is that you have, don't keep it segregated among your community or within your community only, and whatever community that is, right? Or religion, or race, or culture. Spread that. I believe that the more you give yourself, and I'm a true testament of that, the more you give yourself, the more you give your talent away. Meaning, if you know how to do something, share that with the world. Give it to somebody. Talk to people about what you do, how you made it. How is it, like if you flip houses and you have made a lot of money, or you're a teacher, you have been able to help so many kids. How do you do that? Like, what is, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's one of the things that I want to implement in our podcast is, what is the secret sauce? If there is a secret sauce,
For sure.
no, what is the secret sauce for your success? Whatever the skills that you've learned, you know what I'm saying? Not you per se, just in general. I'm saying, like, I want to ask people, what is the secret sauce? Because if you have a so-called secret sauce, your talent, and you have developed that to a certain level, how do you get there? What do you do? What were the steps, if there are any, that you took to get there? You know what I'm saying? Share it. Like, I want people to be able to share that, because there's so much power when you do that. There's nothing more rewarding when you talk to people and you share your talent. I'll give you an example. Like me, I've helped so many people, like in the insurance industry. That's one of the things that I do, and so I told someone, hey, listen, get your license. This is what you have to do. Step 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and they follow. Some of them, they took advantage of the steps one, and they followed it to the T, and they became even more successful than I. And so I believe that when you share, when you give, it multiplies. It gives back. It's a mindset. The other day I was listening to someone, to Myron, and he said, if you are in sales, and this applies not just for sales, it's just for anything and everything. If you go to Costco or any store, and then there's someone out there, there's a Girl Scouts cookies, little girls,
Or giving
and
samples of something.
or you go around and go through the other entrance so you can avoid those little girls, then you're in the wrong business, whatever it is that you're doing. Because if you don't give them a couple of minutes, it doesn't mean that you have to purchase anything from them, buy anything really. It's just that you're giving them your time. That's also giving back. You're giving them the respect that they're taking their time to do something that they might not want to do, because it's usually on a Saturday or a Sunday when they're out there trying to sell their little cookies, right? And so they could, I know, and they could be home watching TV, playing whatever it is, but they're doing something to out of the ordinary, right? Out of the comfort zone. So give back to them your time, and it is so rewarding. It is. Have you ever experienced that?
All the time. I think at the mall is one of the hardest ones.
Selling me shoe cleaners.
I am so sorry if you are one of those people that work in the middle.
Yeah, center aisle.
Yeah, the center aisle. It actually got to a point that it was a little bit annoying. I am just being very honest, because it was like every little one that would like stop you for like 5, 10, 15 minutes, and you would never get to where you were going. But you're right, you do have to give. And I follow and I listen to a lot of different people that are amazing in self-development. Anything from Zig Ziglar, which is the father of everything, and then everybody that trickles down.
When you when you see this book, you feel like, I am your father.
Yeah, Zig Ziglar, yeah, something like that. But there are basically three things that you can have the three of them, you can have two of them, or you can have one of them. And we all have either one of those three. And that's where, we were talking about when people say, I don't know where to start. Just have some type of vision, at least if you don't know from point A to point B, get from point A to, lowercase a and something, 8.1,
a minus,
something like that. But at least one step to take you to point B. But you do, every single person in the world has at least one of these three, even the person that has like zero money or is even in the red in their bank account. So those are three T's. Time, which you talked about, treasure, which is money, and talent. So it's either time, treasure, or talent. If you have treasure, if you have money, you have the resource to, you may not know, but just pay someone that knows, like Ford. How did Ford start his company? Ford was not the engineer. Ford did not know anything about car engineering or anything like that. He paid his employees over and over and over again to test and test and test and test until, the engine or whatever came out. So he had the treasure, right? But maybe you're like, well, I'm not Ford. By the way, Ford wasn't Ford at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You may not have all the money in the world to pay somebody to do the research for you. Fine. Then find the time. Oh, I don't have time. Everybody has time. I promise. You just need to make the effort, the sacrifice, and to tell your unconsciousness, we are okay if we wake up 30 minutes early. Oh, I cannot turn on the lights because I wake everybody up. Okay, go with a little flashlight and go and read and go learn. Or stay a little bit later. Even if it's 30 minutes later, you don't know how much you get to do or accomplish just doing 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening, like later. 30, that's an hour a day. That's 7 hours a week minimum. And then you multiply it, and then you have 7 times, like 300 and 400 hours. You could have built a business, for God's sake.
Right.
You know what I mean? In those like 30 minutes and 30 minutes is just, are you really wanting to do it? Are you really driven to do it? That's the time. And then the talent, you may not necessarily have the time to research because it may take too long. You may tell me, you know what, it's going to take me 5 years to learn ChatGPT, and by the time I actually learn it, ChatGPT is not even going to exist. It's going to be like something
else developed.
I know. ChatGPT is gonna sound like high five. Do you remember high five?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like Latin chat or something. Then use your talent for something. We all have talents to maybe get the treasure to pay for whatever. If you have the talent, you have a talent that even my dad tells me, I don't know how you get some of the songs that you write or you come up with. It's just crazy. That's a talent. I don't have it. The other day we were watching a movie and you asked me something. You said, oh, what did they say? And I said, I don't know. I haven't even understood half of the movie because you have a talent for understanding people, especially with like more Southern accents. I don't have that talent. It takes me a little bit longer. I'm like, turn up the volume. Like I really, really need to listen. I need to watch their body language for me to understand what they're saying. Because I learned country, you learn rap.
I'm telling you, man. Thank you for my hip hop community.
So that's a talent. We all have a talent. And if you say, I don't know anything, I don't have a talent, then you know what? we just need to have a conversation, because then,
comment below.
yeah,
Definitely.
because then you have a self-esteem issue.
Right.
You have a self-esteem issue. We were all created for such a time as this, and we were not created and put in this place right now by accident, or like, oh, go figure it out. No, we were all created with a talent that needs to be developed. No, and with the time that we have to manage, because we all have 24 hours, and with treasure, we may not be born in, with a lot of golden money and flowing from everywhere, but we do have the ability to find that. We have the strength to get a job and to learn a little bit more, so we can get a better pay, or start entrepreneurship. Why not?
Yeah.
Etc. Those are the 3 T's, by the way.
No, it's true. It's don't get stuck in your mindset, whatever mindset you are right now. You said self-esteem, and self-esteem, a lot of times we relate that to like, oh, I'm ugly. Oh, I don't have this. Oh, I'm bald, which I am, by the way. Oh, I wish I had, you know what I mean? Like, I have low self-esteem. That it doesn't necessarily mean just when it comes to your to physical appearance. It has a lot to do with your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You may not feel that you have the the skill set to do something else other than whatever it is that your job is, your job description or title or duties.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, and I mentioned this earlier, that everyone has a skill. Everyone has a skill. You know how many people have businesses in Fiverr, and what's the other one that
Upskill, Upwork.
Upwork?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so many different people, like, they know how to like do little like things like this. You know, whoever came up with Etsy, that's the one that I was trying to find. So like little things like that. Like, you have have no idea how many people nowadays have come up with.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's they came up with businesses that they had no idea they could do.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, to me, it is the best time to make money, to make your dreams come true. You have the resources. You may not have the treasure, you may not have the financial resources, but you do have time, and the time is everything. If you need to stay again late, earlier during your break time, you can turn off the TV. Like, I remember I used to watch a lot of TV until you came up to me and say, listen, why don't you do this? And you're like, you should. And in the beginning, it was a little, challenging for me, because I'm like, man, like, I'm enjoying this. Why am I gonna, you know what I mean? But then I realized, man, it's true. Like, I could be in the studio recording music, writing songs, working on videos, researching, like, the different equipment. Like, time is going by fast, and it's so valuable that, even hanging out, like, it's hard for me to hang out with my friends. Like, I want to do that sometimes, but it is hard. Like, I don't even go out riding my motorcycle anymore. I don't even own the motorcycle anymore.
Can I have a t-shirt, please?
Yeah, who knows when that's gonna, So like for me, it's one of those things that a true testament that if you put in the time to do research and stuff like that, you can make things happen. Like, if I look back 5 years ago, like, I have learned so much, and there's so much for me to learn. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of taking advantage of the times. Right now, it is the time. I believe so. I deeply believe that anyone can make money. There's no reason why someone should not be making money. And I'm not talking about millionaire. Hey, yeah, that's available as well. It may take some time for you to get there. It may be overnight. Who knows? I'm not God. But I do know that we do have the resources, social media. They have, online services. There's so many things that you can do. Use your skills. Find something that you do. Some people are good at listening. Just listening.
I mean,
that's all they do.
They listen.
Right, exactly. But You don't have to go to like a 5 year degree. You get a 5 year psychology or counselor degree. There are different courses out there that are shorter times. There's certifications, and you can become a speaker. So many things. If I name them all, like I will never stop. It'll last forever. Mm-hmm. But again, for you that you're out there, use your skills. You have skills that you can use yourself and become so successful. We believe that. We believe your dreams can come true. And that's the word of today. Make your dreams come true. You have your skills, use them. And if you need any help, by all means, please comment below, right? Comment below, subscribe, share. If you want to do something positive for someone today, share the content, and you believe me, someone will be blessed with whatever we had to say today.
You may find your accountability partner.
Exactly. We're here to help you. That's what we want to do. Like we truly want to do that. Like if you want to comment, send us a DM, follow us. We are available. We're accessible. We're not, far away. So whatever you are, you might be in London or Spain or whatever, or might be, here in Florida, but we're here to help. That's what we're here for. And that's it. So thank you, the original Alexa, for sharing your thoughts. And so until the next time, the American Dreamers podcast, American Dreamers Club podcast. So